Hello, this is Pete, or Kenshin1913.
And Robb, or your new dad.
Yeah, and we are going to do another review of Game of Thrones Season 3, Episode 2, Dark Wings, Dark Words. Which is a saying that they use in Westeros quite a bit whenever they see ravens or crows.
They just assume it's bad news.
Yeah.
No, like when the phone rings past like midnight, you're just like, oh, this can't
Who's dead? So let's start with the summary of the episode.
So let's see what happened this episode.
Yeah. First thing, which is pretty cool because we haven't seen him yet, is Bran. We got to see Bran.
Bran, nice. And Bran's walking around. You know, that means it's dream time, Bran.
Yeah. Bran is dreaming and he sees a three-eyed crow.
Of course, that he always sees in his dreams.
And he tries to shoot it with an arrow. And I like this little touch. They had Jon and Robb there, and they were kind of talking.
Reminiscent of when they grew up.
Yeah, in the very first episode, which was very nice. And then he missed the three-eyed crow, and then they were laughing. And then you heard Ned's voice, which was nice. Mm-hmm. I miss Ned a little bit, ever since he got beheaded way back in the day. It was nice to hear him. And then you see a mysterious boy.
Some boy.
And he's like, you can't kill the three-eyed crow because the three-eyed crow is you. And then he wakes up, and
a lot of my dreams end that way.
Yeah, with a boy, and he comes in and he's telling
handsome young boy,
and he's like, and he's kind of like
mysterious.
You can't kill the tiger over there because the tiger is you. Anyways, then Bran wakes up and he's talking with Osha and Hodor and Rickon about.
They're still on the run from
whoever.
Winterfell.
Yeah, because they're out of there and they ran away. And, Osha's kind of not wanting to listen to the dream. Like, last season, she was like, all right.
Freaks her out a little bit.
Yeah, last season, she was like, all right, let's listen to these dreams. Mm-hmm. It might be interesting.
Now it's starting to freak her the fuck out.
Now she's like, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get us to survive. I'm the only warrior here. You know, if I can see anyone.
It is her, a giant Sibleton, and 2 kids.
Yeah.
One of which is lame.
Yeah.
Although they got 2 direwolves. That makes up for a lot.
Yeah, because they're pretty awesome. So we head over to Catelyn, or Riverrun. I mean, God damn it, Harrenhal. We head over to Harrenhal, where Robb is talking with his girl, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Love scene. I'm not a fan of Robb's wifey. I don't know why. I don't know. I just think she's too good. And, like, in a world where everyone's a touch of gray, everyone's gray, and she's, like, pure white. You know what I mean? There's nothing bad about her right now.
What if that ends up being her downfall, though, like with Ned?
Yeah.
Ned was loyal to the point.
Maybe.
Where he was so loyal, he gave Cersei a chance to run and ended up getting his head chopped off.
Yeah, true.
So maybe that'll be one of those things that,
Yeah, I can see that. So Roose Bolton comes in with some news, and it's bad, and then badder news.
Always.
The bad news was that Catelyn's dad died hospitality. He's the head of Riverrun.
But at least he's an old man.
Yeah, he's an old man. We haven't met him yet. Doesn't really matter. Okay. He's kind of like Jon Arryn in the fact that you really only have to know that he was alive.
Yeah.
And that he was the leader of something.
That's it. Yeah.
And then you hear that there was still no sign of Rickon or Bran at Winterfell when they went to look for him.
Yeah. I think that's when Robb actually learns that Winterfell was burned too.
I think he learned in the second season. Yeah? No, he didn't.
I think
I don't remember.
Because I don't think they would have not heard about Bran and Rickon.
Yeah, no, I think they heard about him last season, and then Bran, he was like, I'm going to kill fucking Theon.
He knew Theon.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know if he heard that Bran and Rickon died, or might be dead.
Yeah.
All right, so then we go to a scene which is brand new to the show, and people of the book, or people who read the book probably had shit for it, but I didn't give a shit. Theon, we see Theon.
Yes.
Now, Theon is
last time we saw Theon, he was getting
he got a bag over his head, and they were
by his own Ironman.
And they were leaving Winterfell.
Yes.
He had a hell of a speech, though, but they left Winterfell.
But now he's captured by somebody. And it's not the Iron Man he was with.
No, it wasn't the Iron Man. He is being tortured.
He is old school.
Old school on the sort of cross. It's not really. It's an X. It's more like
an X. Yeah, like Wolverine on the cover of God Loves Man Kills. Like
yeah. And he's being tortured.
Screws in him.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Classic torture.
Now, he's just getting tortured. They haven't asked him any questions yet. Just to show you, hey, this guy, he's getting fucked. And in some way, you're probably feeling pretty good about it.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, fucking Theon, you piece of shit. You deserve all this. And then we head over to Brienne and Jaime, and they're heading south. And Jaime
to me, were the highlight of this episode.
Oh, yeah. I love these two. The chemistry between them is just great. Like, she's Stonewall. Stonewall.
Yeah. She plays a great straight person.
Jamie's
he throws everything at her.
He's like that guy. He's just throwing like a little rock at her.
He should have been a younger brother.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He's a twin, but he should have been a little brother because he knows how to fucking sling shit at people.
Oh yeah, he does. So he's just busting their balls about Renly, about Catelyn, about everything. Just blah 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 blah. You're a bitch. Da 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 da. Throwing like it's great. I just imagine her as like this wall that he wants to break down. He's throwing rocks at.
But it's really small rocks. But every once in a while he makes a chip. And he's like, I'm getting in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they meet a guy there, and the guy's like, "Hey, where you going? Where you going?" And then the passing, they're like, whatever. And Jamie is like in the back. He's like the devil. Yeah. And he's like, you should probably kill him.
I think we should kill that guy.
Yeah. And she's like, no, I'm not going to kill him.
And he's like, he's going to be trouble for us.
And she's like, whatever.
So they don't kill the guy.
Yeah, and they continue their journey.
Mm-hmm.
We go to Cersei and Joffrey, and they're talking about the Tyrells, right? And they're getting changed, and Cersei's just trying to get, she's kind of
almost trying to not
find out what
Joffrey. Yeah, she's trying to gauge Joffrey's interest.
Yeah.
And what he thinks about Margaery and the other Tyrells.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, she's pretty alright. I mean, she's smart and adequate and blah blah blah.
But he also kind of puts his mother down a little bit and stuff. You can see Cersei losing control.
Every episode since the second season, she's been losing control. It's pretty crazy.
But now it seems like Joffrey's just openly kind of like, I don't fucking give a shit about you anymore.
Yeah, he's like, fucking leave. I'm king.
You're alive because you're my mom. Otherwise, you'd be fucking doing.
Yeah, you'd be more than likely dead.
Yeah.
And then we head over to Sansa and Shae, and Shae's kind of trying to warn Sansa to watch out for Littlefinger because, like, what does he want? And he's like, well, he's too old for me. And well, it doesn't matter. Blah 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 blah. And then Shae's just.
It doesn't matter.
And Shae's just trying to be sort of.
I guess so. Yeah.
So Sansa is invited to meet. She's invited to have a dinner, lunch. Yes, a high tea. There we go. That's what I was trying to think of. A high tea with the Tyrells. Mm-hmm. And Loras comes to pick her up, and they kind of reminisce a tad about, you gave me a rose back at the hand of the king. And he's like,
oh, did I? I don't give a shit about
you. Oh yeah.
You fucking run me in the ass. I don't care about you. You're stupid.
Yeah, and then they get there. And we
meet a new character.
We meet Olenna Tyrell, who was played by Diana Rigg, who used to be
the Avengers show.
Yeah, and she was
not the superheroes. The girl in the British and the
British
guy with the bowler hat.
Yeah, and she was one of the original women of like hot ladies of TV. Anyway, so they're having a talk, and basically what they want to know is
they want the real dirt.
Yeah, they want the
shit.
They want the fucking shit. And
is he a douchebag? Is he a scumbag? Is he gonna fuck with me? Is he gonna be okay? Is he?
Yeah, and Sansa is kind of actually she's not kind of, she's very hesitant about telling them.
Of course.
And she's like, you know what, and Olena's like, and by the way, Olenna Tyrell, Queen of Thorns, if we mention that, and we say that,
because she's, I guess thorns are prickly. She's prickly.
Yeah, she's a very prickly lady. And she's and I like her because she's blunt and right to the point. And she's like, the guy comes by and Sansa's like, don't say anything. She's like, get me some cheese. He's like, the cheese is going to be served in the I'll have the fucking cheese. I'll have some cheese whenever I want. Get me the goddamn cheese. Yeah. And then he leaves. And then finally Sansa opens up and she's like, Joffrey's a fucking monster. He's a piece of shit. Yeah. He killed my dad. He fucking beat me. This, that, and the other. He had people.
She lays down the dirt.
Yeah, and then
they're very interested in that.
Yeah, and they're like, oh. Marjorie's kind of Marjorie's kind of like, oh boy, this isn't good for me. But so that was a kind of cool scene. Mm-hmm. And then we head over to let's see where we are. Karstark, as they're marching north. Robb's men are marching north to River Run, because Harrenhal is south of River Run, like southeast or something. Yep. Southwest of River Run or whatever.
Southeast, yep.
And he's just kind of talking about, like, I'm really losing faith in this war. And he's like, and he's like, can I be blunt with you? He's like, can I be frank with you? And he's like, you've been
what have you been till now?
Yeah, and he's like, you lost the war ever since you married her, right?
Right.
And they show his wife. And, maybe that's true, maybe it's not. Who knows?
We'll see.
So then we head over to Jon's wife. I can never remember. Robb's wife. I can never remember her goddamn name.
I believe her name is Talisa.
Yeah, Talisa. And she's talking with Catelyn, who's making a thing. And Catelyn kind of tells her a story about how she's a bad person.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
How she wished.
Ironically, that made me like Catelyn more.
Yeah.
Because to me, when I read the books, Catelyn is a little bit of a fucking cunt.
Yeah, almost the whole way. Most
of the time.
Yeah.
And she tells a story about how she kind of wished Jon was dead. Jon Snow was dead because it's Ned's bastard and her kid.
And she's like, why would I? She's like, I would wish this on a poor innocent boy. And she's like, you know what? If he lives through this, I'm gonna be a good mom. I'm gonna. She tells
a story where she's a douchebag, promises to be a good person, ends up being
a huge douchebag,
fulfilling her destiny of douchebaggery.
Yeah, and she just basically says like. What the hell was she just basically says, you know, this is the whole she's like, this is the whole reason why everything happened. This is the reason why this all happened, because I can't stand this fucking kid. And it's like, wow, holy crap.
But it makes me like her more.
Yeah, it really adds a layer of humanity onto this woman. I mean, you knew in the beginning she's jealous because her husband fucked a dude, and then here you kind of feel like, a woman. I'm sorry, did I say? I said a dude.
He could fuck dudes too. It definitely wasn't a kid.
Yeah. Ned fucked a woman.
I would see Robert like.
Yeah, okay.
They wouldn't make a baby.
Well, that's why I meant Ned and a woman. Anyways, they banged, they had a kid, and it just adds a layer because she had this moment of regret and this moment of vulnerability, which was nice. Mm-hmm. So we head over to Mance Raider, who's talking with Jon, which was a nice cut. She was talking about Jon, and then bam, Jon. Here's Jon. And,
they do that. They tend to do that a lot.
Yeah, I like that. And Mance Raider's kind of talking with Jon about how he became king of the wall and how he said he united 90 or so clans. Yeah. And he just basically said, if we don't unite, we're all dead.
We're gonna die.
We're all dead. So all dead.
He believes that the threat up there,
whatever the others, the White
Walkers. Well, the others who create the White Walkers, are gonna fucking just destroy everything.
And here is where we meet Orell for the first time. Yeah. He's a wildling.
He's a warg.
He is played by Mackenzie Crook,
who you know if you've seen any of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah, and warg. What is a warg?
A warg is somebody whose mind can jump into an animal, and you can see through the animal's eyes and
scout or do whatever. Yeah, it's kind of.
And he is scouting. He is in a hawk's animal or a falcon.
Yeah, and he learns that the fist of the first men where the Night's Watch was, there's dead crows.
A whole bunch of dead crows.
Dead crows. So we learned that. Jon learns for the first time they might be dead. Yeah, they might be dead.
They might be dead.
Yeah. So we head over to Sam, which is kind of nice. Again, dead crows. Mm-hmm. And then they head over to the crows.
Sam's having an awful hard time.
Yeah, he's not doing too well.
Sam is not made for long distance.
No,
Sam would not be on the cross country team.
No, he wouldn't. Sam is not made for the rough stuff. Sam, if he could have been, I think he would have been a great librarian. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He might even have a knack as a maester, maybe, if he somehow they live through this.
Like he wasn't meant to be a fighter.
No way, no,
for sure.
No, and what ends up happening is Sam kind of is like they're marching back, and he just kind of quits. He's like, I can't do it anymore.
It's like me running a mile in high school. He's just like, fucking.
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't do this. And so Mormont basically, his buddies try to help him. Bran and Ed, and they come over and he's like, "You left me." I love that little scene. Like he's like, "You left me." And he's like, "Yeah, if we didn't leave you, we would have died."
Yes, you somehow made it out.
Yeah.
But
I love Ed. I love Ed because he's just so grim all the time. I love it. And so Commander Mormont comes over and he's like, I command you not to die. You must survive. And it was great. And then he made this guy Rast. He made this guy Rast, handle him. He's like, if he dies, you die. So make sure he lives.
He's one of the snotty crows. He's one of the guys that would give Sam a hard time.
Even back in the at the Castle Black.
Yeah, in the first season.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. That they still have him. Yeah. So finally, Bran is he's hanging out in the woods by himself with Osha. Osha, I don't know what the hell she was doing, but Bran's like, where are they? Where's Rickon and Hodor now feeding? And then the mysterious boy shows up, and then
in his dreams.
Yeah,
I wish one of my dreams would show up.
I wish a lady in my dreams would show up, but they never do.
I didn't see that coming.
Anyways, so then Osha kind of gets all crazy, and the dire wolf gets kind of crazy. She sticks a spear in the back of his neck, and then
obviously she's protecting
Bran. And then some lady sticks a knife in the back of her neck. Yeah, and she's like, drop the spear.
Yeah.
And we find out that these two people are the Reeds. The Reeds that people have been wanting to see since last season, and it's Jojen Reed, the boy,
his sister Mira,
and his sister Mira. Now, Jojen Reed is played by Thomas Brody Sanger, whatever, and Mira Reed is played by Ellie Kendrick. And
you got that name right?
Yeah, finally. And I just what was I gonna say?
You enjoyed the way they look.
I like the way that they look. I think Thomas already he looks just like I imagine Jojen, so it should be pretty cool. But we find out that they've come to meet Bran
on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. They have come to meet Bran, and that's pretty neat. I mean,
Jojen also has a nice little trick where he kind of tames Summer.
Oh yeah.
That proves he just kind of like lets him smell him,
which kind of makes him like an odd character right now. You're like, interesting.
Yeah.
There's more to this boy than meets the eye already. So we head over. Yeah, sort of. So we finally, by the way, meet up with Arya, Gendry, and Hot Pie.
Oh my God, it took forever!
I know, and they're walking through the forest. They obviously escaped Harrenhal, and they're heading for River Run because she's like, if I can get to River Run, my granddad's there.
We're set. It's a big castle, right?
That's gonna be great.
It's a good plan.
If
you can find it.
Yeah. And so they're kind of lost, and they hear some people singing, and they're like,
so they're gonna hide
and
avoid them.
Yeah, and so they see some guys, and one of the guys shoots a fucking arrow right through this hole. They're hiding like on a wall, and the hole right through the thing. So then Arya comes out, and she's like, "Don't shoot!" Because they were gonna shoot more arrows.
Right.
And they meet a couple of guys there.
They end up being part of a group that called themselves
the Brotherhood. Without banners?
Without banners.
Yes. And the guy...
In the sense that they don't fight for anybody.
They don't.
They fight for the small people. Almost.
Yeah. They're like...
They're fighting for all the people who get trampled underneath.
Yes.
Guys who want to be king.
Yes. It's a great...
Which is kind of nice.
It's a good cause. Very good cause, I personally think. And we meet Thoros of Myr. Played by
a lot of new characters in this episode.
Played by Paul Kaye. And he's pretty cool. He was mentioned a few times in a couple of seasons before about how he had a sword that was on fire, so hopefully we'll see that this season.
Maybe.
And we meet Anguy, who is an archer.
The aforementioned bowman.
Yeah. And he's played by Philip McGinley.
And
he's a pretty cool guy because, he's got a mouth on him. I mean, they both kind of have a mouth on him.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he likes to sing, he likes to kind of bust balls. And
so they kind of take those kids captive, sort of. They're
interested in them. They're kind of like,
let's go have
this is weird.
Let's go have some food.
Yeah,
because they had the Castle Forge steel, and they're like, what the fuck are you guys doing out here?
So they know there's something off with them, so they kind of take them back just to kind of question.
Yeah. And then we head over to Tyrion and Shay. This scene was alright, I think, out of the whole episode.
One of the rare Tyrion not
weird
scenes.
Yeah, weird. It was weird, and we'll explain why it was weird a little later. But Tyrion and Shay comes in, she's waiting there.
She's gonna be Tyrion, bitch in this episode.
Yeah.
Scene.
She's jealous because
she's also there, which she thinks is bad because she
shouldn't be there.
She doesn't want Tywin to get wind of that.
Yeah, and she kind of tells Tyrion like, "Oh, we gotta protect Sansa," and he's like, "Well, the Lannisters aren't in control of her, so she's a beautiful girl who can go with whoever they put her with." And she's like, "Why are you beautiful?" Blah 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 blah. And it was just weird. It was a
little weird. It felt a little off.
Yeah, but I mean, it will point to something later, but I don't want to give anything away. So then we go to Margaery and Joffrey, and they're having a moment.
This was probably the best scene.
One of the better scenes that involved Brienne and Jaime.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Because it kind of opened up, like, obviously everyone knows what Joffrey's about. He was just talking about...
kind of a fucking sociopath.
He's just talking about this bow that he has. This crossbow I got. It's so great.
He's like annoying like an NRA.
And then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna outlaw queers. And
no. And it's my God, he's a whole Republican.
Yeah, and no, but the thing is, I remember some stupid article after this whole show was like, oh, Game of Thrones, they're talking about being anti-gay or whatever. And it's like, no, they're not. This is like literally
the most evil person in the game in the show is talking about being anti-gay.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, because they were just saying that because remember Ned Stark's head was next to George Bush's head, so they're like, oh, this show can get a little political about what's happening in the real world. Get the fuck out of here. It's some stupid show. Not that stupid, but it's some show. It's like you're reading way too into it. Anyway, so
it's a dragon, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And so they're kind of, he kind of questions her about Renly, and he's like, and she's like, and then at that point,
kind of likes to fuck with people. He likes to ask him awkward questions and engage a response.
Yeah, and then at that point, Margaery kind of like clicks in the liar mode, and she's kind of just talking about. Granted, it's not really lying; it's just kind of like telling.
No, she's kind of just saying, I don't think he was in the girls.
Yeah, and this, that, and the other, blah blah blah. And he wanted to do me in the butt, blah.
But it's a real good moment.
Yeah, it is. I like
when she's. To me, it feels like she's kind of manipulating Joffrey.
Yeah, she's like, would you allow me to go hunt? Would you allow me to go hunt?
Yeah, feeding into this weird fucking
creepy
fucking serial killer, kill animal type thing.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, oh, let me touch your crossbow.
Yeah.
Wink, penis.
Yeah, it was good.
And the scene ending with them in the mirror holding the crossbow.
And he's like, would you like me to kill something? He's like,
oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. I almost hear this fucking gore boner.
Yeah.
Pop through his tunic.
So then after that weird scene,
I'm a funny guy.
We head back to Theon, and he's still being tortured. But now we know why he's being tortured, because they're asking him about Winterfell.
Right.
They're like, well,
So somebody's interested.
Yeah, go ahead.
They're obviously just interested in why he did it, how he did it,
and
who ordered it.
Yeah. And he's like, why did you do it? And then eventually
he gives a litany of excuses. Yeah, and the truth ends up being somewhere in all of them, probably.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, I did it to get you out from my house. Oh, because the Starks were bad to me. And they weren't really bad to me.
No. It was probably an amalgamation of everything.
Yeah. And he's just saying whatever he has to say. This is true, too. Have them to stop hurting him.
Yeah, because that's usually how torture works.
That's usually how it works.
You don't always get the truth. Sometimes you do.
No.
A lot of times you get what you want to hear. When you stop torturing, there you go.
And then at the whole scene after they put the bag over his head and they leave, and he's kind of crying.
Yeah.
Some guy.
Yeah.
A boy. I'm just going to call him boy. I'm just going boy.
Well, they don't give him a name.
They don't. So I'm calling him boy.
The boy, yeah.
Boy, and he's played by Wayne Rion. And basically, he kind of tells him, listen, your sister sent me, I'm going to try to save you. And he's like, please, help me now. He's like, please don't leave.
He might have a little way out.
Yeah, he might. And that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So then we head back to Bran and Jojen and the Reeds, and they're walking through their thing. And
this was good because Jojen's kind of explaining the whole.
What is a warg?
Yeah,
he explains that he's a warg. He explains that Bran is a warg.
Yeah.
And
but also the whole third sight type thing.
Yeah. And then he has
ESP, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah. And this was a good scene because it explains things that people need to know about.
Yes.
Which was good.
Especially about Bran.
But the only thing that I found kind of weird was that all of a sudden Rickon runs off, and then the direwolves go after him. And I'm hoping to God,
I think that was an excuse to not
have Rickon there,
have a little kid, and the computer's ready to move.
Yeah, okay.
I think that was a money-saving venture.
Kids
are obviously always harder to work with, and then the wolves are obviously they're CGI.
Yeah. I'm just hoping to God that that's not. Oh, we're never gonna see Rickon again. Although you never. In the books, it's different. I just hope that's not the way that they're going to write him out for right now. Anyways, then we head over to Thoros of Myr, and he's having
his little sit down with Arya and her group.
And they're talking. Arya's throwing out all these lies so that they can get the hell out of there without any more suspicion.
Yeah.
And so they do find a way to get out of there. She's like, I learned how to fight for my brothers, which is not really
not a total lie.
Not a total lie. And so they're about to leave.
And in walks another capture.
And in walks another captured prisoner.
It's a big guy.
He's a huge man.
And it's a fucking hound.
It's the fucking hound, that's right.
Great character.
Yeah, they captured the hound. And then as they're leaving, Arya, High, and Gendry.
A little bad luck because
the hound sees Arya and he's like, what are you doing with a Stark, bitch? And she's like, oh, shit.
So now they kind of know they have somebody important, those guys.
Yeah. And then we go to the final scene of the episode, which is Brienne and Jaime, and they're fighting. They're finally fighting.
Yes.
And, because Jaime kind of steals the sword because they have like this moment where he's like, Jaime's like, again,
it's a nice little ploy.
Again, being the devil on the shoulder, he's like, where are we gonna go? Are we gonna go through the water, or are we gonna have to go through the bridge where we might get spotted? And finally, they go across the bridge. Jaime steals the sword, and then they have a little fight, which was a good fight because in the beginning, Jaime was well, he wasn't winning, but he was like.
On the offensive.
Yeah, he was doing good, and Brienne
kind of gets the flex and blocks, and then she just goes, fuck this. And then, boom, she just starts pounding him into the ground. It was pretty great. Yeah.
But unfortunately, all of their commotion alerted some Bolton men who were hunting for Jaime, and they got caught. Mm-hmm. And that's how the episode ends. Yeah. They were caught by the Bolton men.
Yeah. Who were led there by that guy they didn't kill earlier.
No. That's right.
So Jaime might have been right.
Yeah, Jaime was right. They should have killed that mother.
Yeah.
So let's talk about new characters, Rob. Likes and dislikes.
The band of Brotherhood without banners.
Yes.
Seem interesting.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of them though. Mm-hmm. The Reeds, kind of the same thing. They're interesting, I think, but I want to see more. See what happens with them.
Yeah. I'd have to say my likes. I like the Reeds, and I like Tyrells and He's pretty cool. Boy, there's not a dislike about him right now. I have some theories on who he might be, but it's interesting watching it and being like, who is this guy gonna be? I wonder who this is. Why is he helping Theon? What's the whole game there? So I really like that.
Well, he might just be a tool.
Yeah, he could be just a tool. It's gonna be interesting to see how that unfolds.
Yeah, well, because if you're Yara, you can't just kind of walk into that castle.
Yeah.
First of all, she's a girl, so they wouldn't say, she'd have to dress like a handmaiden or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, he might be nothing.
Yeah, he could be just nobody. But, yeah. So, new character, I do like Olenna Tyrell. I just like I like how she's just, like, right to the point, fucking blunt. She actually, in the book, she had these two giant guards that were pretty cool looking, but they don't need them.
I gotta say, I think this episode was my least favorite episode of Game of Thrones ever.
Why is that?
I think there was a combination of introducing a lot of new characters, which can be taxing.
Yeah.
And also leaves less time for the characters you've come to love and enjoy.
Yeah. Like we just finally saw Arya. You know what I mean?
We
just saw Bran. I mean, a lot of people like Bran.
Right.
We just saw him. But I mean, you gotta.
But I think a combination of that, all the new characters, and not a lot happened.
Yeah.
Really, like everybody's just kind of like it was kind of like the road trip episode. Like everybody was kind of moving around, but nobody really ever did anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like Arya went through the woods, and then they went to a little inn, and then Jaime and Brienne just walked up the whole episode, and Jojen Reed and those guys just walked up the whole episode.
Yeah.
Not a lot happened in the episode. Besides, we met new characters.
Yeah.
And like I said, that can just be a little overload, especially if you didn't read the books. So I think that's why I think it was the worst episode ever. But it was by no means a shitty episode.
Yeah.
I just think of a quality show.
The worst episode of Game of Thrones is still better than the best episode of The Apprentice.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's all in.
Yeah, but one of the scenes I didn't really care for, we kind of already talked about it, was I didn't really care for that chase scene. I didn't really care for that. I just thought it was kind of out of place.
It doesn't seem to her character like she'd be all
of a sudden she's jealous because she just seems like that kind of character doesn't give it.
You would not give a fuck if you thought
majority of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seemed out of character.
Yeah, and let's see, what do we got? All right, best line, best kill. What you got?
I think our best line is the same.
Yeah. The thing is, there's no kills in this episode. I went back mentally. No one died. Nothing died. I mean, if they stepped on a plant, they killed the plant or whatever. That's the kill. But I think our line is going to be the same, Rob. What is it?
It's when Jaime and Brienne are talking, when Jaime is doing his little teasing Brienne.
Yeah, just throwing those little rocks.
He realizes that she actually had a crush on Renly, and he kind of mocks her by, announcing that Renly was, not into girls, and then he lays a line down that says, it's a shame that Iron Throne wasn't made of cocks, because they'd never be able to get Renly off. and it doesn't. It's a good joke.
It is.
B, it does its thing to get underneath Brienne's skin just a little fucking more.
Yeah.
And it's a genuinely funny line, too.
Yeah.
And by somebody who, for the longest time, didn't get to be funny.
Yeah.
Like the last two episodes, Jaime's gotten to be funny, and I think it must be nice for Nicholas Walter. don't know how to say the last name.
Yeah. It's not, it is kind of neat. Because, like, last season, too, he was just sitting around in a pen. He's getting to do shit this season, which is nice. And, that's my favorite line, too. I also have another one, because The Raven is You by Jojen Reed. I mean, it's kind of...
You just like the way
I just like, like, that's literally the first fucking line of him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And differences between book and the show... Obviously, the Reeds were already with Bran in the second season. They were supposed to be there. People had shit fit about that. But I like how they introduced them now. They're not leaving them out, which is nice, because they could leave them out. There's a point Osha and Rickon basically go their separate ways because after Winterfell falls and the Reeds are with them already, Osha takes Rickon and what's his name? Shaggy Dog. And they head a different way.
The other guys head north.
And the other guys head north. And so
they kind of try to split up the Stark children.
Yeah. And
so that was your complaint about you're hoping that's not how.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's not how. Like,
I don't see that.
Never
That
see Rickon again. Yeah, that just seems dumb. I hope they don't do that.
That seems silly. Plus, why would they want to take away one of Direwolves?
Yeah, I hope not. And then Theon, basically, if you read in the books, you don't hear about Theon for quite a while, and he's not being tortured quite yet. But that's all right.
We don't know that yet.
We don't know that. That's all right. Yeah, but that's all right. And then the person who captures Jaime, the guy who captures him, we'll go into it later, but it's a different guy. And who cares? All right, it's gonna be
one of those like amalgamation of characters.
It's the same outcome is gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Don't you worry. So I think that's about it.
Yeah.
That I can think of, and again, that's about it. So I think this episode was all right.
Like I said, it's my least favorite, but.
I'll definitely say Brienne.
There were some things that had to be done, but it's kind of like one of those.
It's just a big setup episode again.
Oh yeah, it is. It's like one of those chores you hate to do.
But you know what the thing is about it is like it's a setup episode, but you know how like first episodes are usually setup episodes.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to see it in the second one. You know what I mean?
The world's so big.
Yeah.
There's so many different things.
Like we never saw Dany.
We never saw Dany. We never see Stannis, Melisandre, or Davos. We never see.
No. It's crazy. So a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this next episode will definitely be better. This has been Pete, or Kenshin 1913.
And Rob.
And this has been another Game of Thrones review. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.